All right, everyone. So this week we are talking about The Accountant. The Accountant stars Ben Affleck, Anna Kendrick, John Bernthal, J.K. Simmons, John Lithgow, and others. It's directed by Gavin O'Connor, came out in 2016. One of your favorite movies, I think, if I remember correctly. I won't go down the plot. You know, anyone who's listening to this hopefully has already seen the movie, because there are spoilers in each and every one of these quote-unquote reviews discussions. So if you don't want the movie to be spoiled, don't listen. That's your heads up. That's the only heads up you get. So yeah, this movie, you built it up to me. You told me you loved it. You've seen it 7-8 times. You know, sorry if I'm misquoting that. My expectations were a little bit higher. I'll go down the things that I enjoyed about the movie.
Stop the podcast right now. You're wrong. Batman was amazing. Yeah.
Hey. Okay. All right, cool. I'm going to cut that out. So I really appreciated the originality of the concept. I did feel at points the plot was rushed along, most specifically when J.K. Simmons' character was sitting and explaining why he did what he did and how he came to meet the accountant for the first time. That was just a little, it just all seemed kind of unnatural to me. I think this story would have worked a lot better as a one-season series where you could really flesh it out. And I think given the right casting, the right production, the right directors, it could have been phenomenal. I thought Ben Affleck gave a pretty good performance. It was really interesting to, see him tackle this sort of character. I can't recall anything outside of Hoffman and Rain Man where a big-time actor has tried to play autistic. Do you know of anyone else who's done that?
Wasn't he an I Am Sam, or is he full on retard?
I'm not sure, man. I don't think he was autistic. I think he was. Yeah, I think he had some learning disabilities.
Who beat out of Madonna with I think a bat or something like that.
And he won the Academy Award. He threatened to melt them on air if whatever. We won't talk about that. Anyways, so for me it was Rain Man meets what's the Denzel flick? Equalizer, right?
Equalizer.
Yeah, I mean it was cool. And that fight scene at the end when he's storming the house. Come on. There's no way he could do all this shit. And, this is coming from someone who has held a gun maybe twice in his life, shot a gun twice, never seen, any sort of combat. So I'm talking to someone, for those of you who may not know, who's seen real combat. So you're obviously a much better judge of this. That's my initial take. I'll talk a little bit more. What's your feedback?
Yeah, I mean, let's be clear. The only exception I'll get to what you're last saying is I will say it's a movie. Because John Wick, the scene where they first come to get him at his house is so stupidly over top. Or let's look at Red, where they come get Bruce Willis. Remember that scene? All of them are complete bullshit, right? It doesn't break the fourth wall for me. I do know it's military. I do know how cover and control, interlocking sectors of fire and stuff would happen. Like when you have a good security setup, it doesn't collapse one by one. It's made to be redundant, so it can't collapse like that. Mm-hmm. So I try not to do that. It's all bullshit, Now, I'll give you one thing here. You want to break the fourth wall. I know this personally because I lost my hearing overseas. I can't hear my left ear. My eardrum exploded, and I lost my hearing. Nobody ever has any earplugs in, right? You know how loud a gun is? Do you know how loud miniguns are or sniper rifles? There's a ton of stuff I could pick apart with reality, where it's never done in movies. So that didn't bother me. Of course, the last scene was over the top. Of course, he kills 12 guys.
Jesus, a dozen at least.
Yeah. First with the sniper, then he's running after him. He's outrunning guns, and he's.
But that one guy at the end gives him trouble.
Yeah, of course, and he gives him a grenade from that close, and he thinks that he can keep a tight enough grip that the shrapnel wouldn't blow out.
Oh Jesus! I know, man.
Yeah, but again, I'm playing it as if I take action like that seriously. I'm not. So
right.
Let me go my overarching. First of all, I'll say this for a couple of things. One of my favorite horror movies we should talk about sometimes is Sinister. Sinister is a horror movie that actually has a good screenplay and plot.
Great movie.
Horror movies don't have good plots. Okay? They're stupid. The way they were in the 80s and 90s is a girl shows her tits, which is wonderful, and they don't do it anymore because we're all so fucking woke. Girl shows her tits, gets murdered in the first scene or whatever. Another hot chick gets banged, of course, and the pure chick, lives at the end of her. But what was entertaining was the ways they would die, the horror that it would actually make you feel, or whatever else. Even Saw 1 was great. Everything after that's been terrible, and those director and writer team are horrible. I'm looking at you, Invisible Man. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that there was a horror movie with a good plot, Sinister. This is an action movie with a good plot. Name to me action movies that have good plots and good writing. Action movies. Not dramas. Not drama actions. Straight up action movies. This is an action movie, not even a thriller. And it had an interesting plot. And the characters were interesting. I forget the black girl's name, actually, perfectly cast. She was the junior agent that became, J.K. Simmons' character in the end.
She was great. I'd never seen her before.
I have in a couple stuff, and it's funny because she was in a really woke role and something else which I couldn't stand because it was so woke.
Uh-huh.
And then in this one, it was the opposite of that. It was, she just fit, was seamless. But her backstory was cool. She was a ward of the state, was grown up in the project, but decided, take the other direction, and she got back to drug. It was a cool plot, Then you got Bergdahl, who's the brother. Everyone has
Bergdog,
whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Interesting plot. I'm trying to think whoever else. Everyone had a backstory that I don't think was over delivered or under delivered, and it was enough that made you care about the characters. So an example to contrast it with is the Batman, which is dog shit. First of all, you don't even really get anyone's backstories because it's so avant-garde. We don't do backstories, right? Why would we? So you don't give a shit. But let me help the audience. The reason you do backstories is you want to give some empathy and care for the characters. So as the movie progresses, you're invested in the character. None of the characters in Batman you give a shit about. You don't even know why they're there. In this one, you're invested. There's a black girl that had like the horrible project she grew up in and had to rise above crime. And at one point does it wrong, but then does it ethically. And now she's being asked to be unethical again. Will she do it or not? You got J.K. Simmons, who is his character's great. There's tons of those type of guys that are complete corporate bitches, right? They're in there for retirement. They just clock in, clock out. He finally has something that challenges, and he really reveals himself. I'm a big pussy. He then realizes, I was a big pussy, but I played it safe for my family. Maybe I get a second chance. And he does, their backstories are really interesting. I mean, this could easily, as you said, break off into a TV series or at least a few sequels. Where will the accountant go next? Is he going to kill the Saudi oil billionaires, or what's next? But again, the autism thing, that was great. And then the person helping him the whole way was a girl on the computer with the little speak and say synthesizer or whatever it is.
Right.
I'm talking about the thing. It's like the cow goes moo. That's what she sounds like.
Yes.
Anyway, I feel like I'm sometimes scattered or kind of like defending my point. I just think it was really neat. If it had a big overarching thing, it was the fact that it wasn't actually a good plot. And so I'll give you one that actually does have one. Dread, which came out kind of under the radar with Carl Urban. Great plot.
Oh, we should do that. Yeah. Yeah, I've heard about that one. I still haven't seen it yet. I've caught bits and pieces, and I love the violence in it and how like they don't seem to pull any punches there. So yeah, we should definitely do that.
Well, and again, when we talk about reviews, I'm looking at The Accountant as an action movie. I don't look at The Accountant next to The Godfather, which, by the way, I think is overrated, or next to Take Shelter or something like that. Like, I don't put them next to each other. Sure. I look at an action movie, and I'm like, holy shit, this is a top-tier action movie.
It's a popcorn movie, right?
No, it's better than that. How dare you?
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, it's not a popcorn movie. All right. Yeah, I see where you're coming from. But hang on. Like with the father's death, who kills someone crashing a funeral? I feel like that was kind of haphazardly thrown together.
A million %, you're right.
Yeah.
The scenes that get to me too. Number one, I agree. That's weird. Like, how did the cops killed him? They shot him? Why couldn't they just break it up? Were they that lethal? What? Don't like it. Mm-hmm. But then it reminds me of someone else we forgot about, the guy from Arrested Development, Ben Affleck's little mentor in prison.
Oh, God, what is that actor's name? He's great. I think Jeffrey. Oh, man. Shit.
Jeffrey Toobin?
Tambor. I think Jeffrey Tambor. He was in The Grinch, right? He's been in a ton of stuff. Arrested Development, yeah.
But even that one, we're talking about backstories. That was really cool. Like, he made a friend with a crime guy, and then he got revenge for. Like, what a cool. It was a weird relationship, Mm-hmm. It could have been someone his age. It could have been, no, they chose an old, weird guy that, he got an autistic guy and he's trying to help him. That scene where he's like, I'm going to be in here. I don't think I'm ever getting out of here. I'm going to be in here forever. And then it's like, you're right. You're very old and you probably won't make it out. And he's like, no. And he's trying to teach him emotions.
Mm-hmm.
And that the whole exchange is it's really well written. I feel like it's really organic.
Well, one more critique. If he was going around bad guys like the cartel, wouldn't they become suspicious after a while that something bad would happen after he did their books?
Oh, and then they have pictures of him. I'm like,
yeah,
why is he in pictures?
Never
like,
his fucking face. I mean, come on, dude. Like you're gonna get a shot of his face at some point. Oh, he's just that good. He knows where all the cameras are and shit. Yeah, okay, I get it. I'm totally with you in what you're saying. You gotta give him the benefit of the doubt with certain things and just kind of turn that logical part of your brain off.
No, but I agree with you. I remember I see that scene too. I'm like, wait, what is it? Like the Treasury Department can find you? Yeah. The cartel can find your ass. They're not like dumb Mexicans.
Jesus,
but like, how Google Maps work? Me no. Like, yeah, no comprende, senor.
All right, man. So that was good. I feel like we've talked about the accountant enough. Thanks for the recommendation. Let's try to do a little bit better next time. So for a listener, if anyone doesn't know, actually you guys don't know because no one said anything yet. What we do each week is I tell my friend what movie he needs to watch. He tells me what movie I need to watch. We meet up after we've watched them, talk about them, do 2 episodes at a time. They're obviously released separately, and that's just how we go about this. And it's fun because we love movies at the core of it, and we're just passionate about it. Even though we hate something, we enjoy talking about it. So no harm, no foul there. That's the whole point behind this entire thing. So that was it, man. So what do you actually, sorry, do you have anything else to say about the movie in general?
Nope, we should do ratings.
Wonderful. What do you got? 0 to 10.
Oh, wait, no, thank you. I do. The writer of it, kind of gives me hope in my life. He was a headhunter for recruiting agency, for like I think tech or something. Like kind of like what?
Really?
And he knew somebody, and he wrote the screenplay for that in his 40s or something.
Was this his first screenplay that was made into a film?
I'm pretty sure this is his first one. But
okay.
He made the Ozarks. He runs that. She's a showrunner for Ozarks. But yeah, he was like his whole career until like his 40s was like a headhunter for like corporations. That's what he did. He wasn't a writer. I forget the story how even he gets it, but yeah, somehow the accountant was made and he did it. So I like that story about it.
That's awesome. All right, man. What do you got? 0 to 10?
8-7.
Wow, that's your highest score yet.
There we go.
Good for you. Hey, man, it all comes down to what you like. I'm happy that this movie brings you so much joy that you can watch it, more than 2 or 3 times. No, I mean, I that comes from a good place. I'm serious, man, because I think we need more movies like that are just watchable. I give it a 6.9, big 6.9. Yeah.
Oh my God. How can we continue this? How can we have a professional relationship?
Well,
after this,
it may crumble. It's okay though. We gave it a legitimate shot.
6.9.
All right. Okay, man.
I'm going to find some aggressive way to get this out on you.
Can't wait to find out. All right, dude. Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes in the links below.